everybody. I'm here with Roy, and we're going to do this little conference call and interview Roy. He was here in the Philippines, and we got to meet him. He came by the house, met Janet, and we hung out a little bit. So, how you doing, Roy?
I'm doing great, Mike.
So, how was your visit to the Philippines?
It was very hot, I can tell you that. Um,
Yeah.
but it had been, 3.5 years because of COVID, and so we were really looking forward to coming home. And we spent the first week in Cebu with my wife's family, and well, you know how hot Cebu City is. And then 2 weeks in Dumaguete, and then a week in Leyte, and then another week in Cebu, and then we came home.
I didn't get to mention her. She's Filipina.
Oh
Did
yes,
you meet her in the Did you meet her in the Philippines or in the U.S.?
I met her in the Philippines.
That was an online relationship at first.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, I had met a Filipina prior to her, so I didn't come into this blind like a lot of gentlemen do.
Mhm.
I had met a Filipina on Facebook that was dating a mutual friend, and they broke up. And after I divorced, she had contacted me, and we started chatting. And she was in the Philippines. She was a dual citizen and closer to my age. And one day she messaged me and said, "I can come take care of you." So we literally had a year and a half relationship, and I went back and forth a couple times. And when we broke up, after my experience in the Philippines with the people of the Philippines, I realized that was the only place I wanted to be.
Your wife now,
Mhm.
you have a son. Uh,
A 13-year-old son. That was a stickler when I first met her online. We chatted for a few days, and then she told me that she had a son. And I've had four children of my own. I've also raised two other stepsons, and I didn't think I wanted to do it again. Not at my age. And
yes.
I thought about it for a while. And I thought, well, I'm kind of coming out ahead here. Two people are going to love me versus one person. So, and it's been a godsend. Um, I'll have to send you the video clips. He's in football this year, and he's a cornerback. And my God, he made some fantastic plays the other night. And I'm sitting in the stands going, this is a boy that 2 years ago didn't know what American football was.
Really?
I mean, it's quite amazing, and to watch him mature, and um, he has adopted to the U.S. far easier than my wife has. He likes Popeye's chicken, and I'll tell him, Ish, Popeye's closed down nationwide, and he'll go,
Oh no.
okay, I'm not buying that. And because if I go to Green Bay, he wants Popeye's chicken. I mean,
It's a regular teenage boy enjoying life in the U.S.,
a
hanging
little
out with
bit of an
friends.
elderly father. That's all.
You get looks in the stands when you got a 13-year-old boy, or
Oh
because most
yes,
people our age, when they have 30, it's a grandson or something
they
at the
probably
football
think
games.
that I'm a grandson. I don't know. We go to parent teacher conferences and we get funny looks. And when my wife first arrived in the U.S., we got lots of funny looks. And you hear all the scuttlebutt, never bring a
Yes,
Filipina to the U.S. That's, if you've got a good, strong relationship, it doesn't matter where you live.
doesn't matter.
But at first, the funny looks, I really took them personal. I thought that they were looking at us funny, not because of the age gap, but because maybe they're prejudiced. And, I've come to understand that that's not so. They're probably looking at us going, how did them two get together?
More curiosity than judgment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And when you talk to people, um, they're open, they're friendly, they're kind. Um, we went to my cousin's daughter's wedding yesterday, and lots of people on the other side of the family that have never seen us before were staring at my wife. And she felt a little uncomfortable. And I said, honey, they're probably wondering, how did this older guy and this younger Filipina get together? You know,
Yeah, Yes, I totally agree with, and it's the same thing the other way when you're here and you go
Yeah,
visit her family, maybe a couple cousins, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, "Where did he come from?
yeah. And I told her
How
that
they meet?"
yesterday. I told her that yesterday at the table. I said, honey, they do the same thing to me in the Philippines.
That's right. Yeah. So, how long have you been married to your wife?
2.5, going on 3 years.
3 years. And she came over to the States how long ago?
Um, almost three. Well, yeah, almost 3 years ago. She came over in March of 2020.
When she went there, was it on the fiance visa?
Yes.
Did the son come with her? Is the question also.
Yes. See, we were dating prior to the pandemic. So I had went there twice already and had proposed to her and gave her a ring. And we were in the process of starting the K1 visa. And then the pandemic shut us down and my next flight over was canceled. And so we had to wait. And we would have actually have waited until just this last year if it wasn't for I wrote my congressman and I pleaded with her. And 3 weeks after I wrote that letter, um, I got a response back stating that we have a interview scheduled at the U.S. Embassy.
Wow, that's great.
It went that fast. I mean, literally, I had to FedEx the paperwork over was $126 to send the paperwork over. You know, wow, they must charge by the silver ounce or something on a FedEx plane. But it was like, oh my God. And she had an interview, boom, 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 and and it was quite amazing. You know,
Once the process gets rolling and you get off the bottom of the pile, I think it does go quick. But that pile is so high nowadays
yeah.
that it takes many, many months. So has she
Well,
adapted well to living in the States, or is
yeah,
she looking forward to coming back?
no, she's adapted well. Um, I knew that she needed Filipina friends. I knew some Filipina friends here. So I got her kind of hooked up with them. And now she has lots of Filipinas that are married to Americans here. In fact, in 2 weeks, we're going to a big wedding. Um, one of one of our friends is marrying a Filipina, and he's ex-Navy. That's how we met her. And there's a whole entire community here that I was actually unaware of. Like if
In your
in
area?
Green Bay, I bet you there's 100 Filipinas that get together in Green Bay.
Hmm.
And if you go to Sheboygan, there's another big group, and there's a big group in Milwaukee, and all over the whole country. There are so many Filipinos here that I was oblivious. I was
Yeah.
oblivious.
When I was in Las Vegas, they have a large Filipino community there also. And it seems like every city has a Filipino community
Yes.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Many.
So that really helped my wife, because you know how it is in the Philippines, especially if you're in an area with very few expats. You got no one to speak your language fluently like we do. You don't have the foods. Everything is different. The culture is different, and it's like when I go to the Philippines, for some reason, I'm there like a couple of weeks, and I start to miss a teen or a cheeseburger.
And
I
these
don't
double cheeseburgers.
I don't eat cheeseburgers here in the United States, but when I'm in the Philippines, I miss them. So I knew that she needed that connection.
Hmm.
It it's it's
Now,
it, it's it's worked out.
yeah, it sounds like you have a strong relationship, good family bond. But now you're planning to come live in the Philippines. You're going to
Oh
pack up
yes,
and move here. When is this supposed to take place?
it's a
What's your plan?
5-year plan.
It's a 5-year plan.
Ish is in 8th grade now. When he graduates high school, he's going to either go to college, to tech school, or the military. And at that point, then we can make our jump. Um, but we've decided we're not going to be there full time. Obviously, we can't. We got children here and grandchildren,
Yeah.
and I couldn't abandon them, you know, but I can skip out on all the cold weather.
Yes, you can. So are you planning to be one of these 6 month guys, 6 months in the
Oh,
Philippines,
yes.
6 months
Hmm.
back?
Yep. Yep.
So are you going to miss Green Bay Packer football season to come and live here in the winter time? Or are you going to stay in
Well,
Green Bay in the winter and go ice fishing?
you know, I'll miss them a little bit more than I would to say the Cleveland Browns
Browns? Yeah, 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 yeah.
or the Cincinnati Bengals, but I'm a fair weather football guy. Okay, where's your hat?
I don't have a hat. I got the brownie. I got the brownie. When you decide that you're going to be coming here, are you going to be like a permanent renter? Are you building? Are you buying? Or is that something still in the plans and
Yeah,
undecided?
it's we're not quite sure for sure. Um, I guess our last trip sealed the deal of where we want to be. I mean, there's 7,600 islands in the Philippines, so you got a lot of places to live. And
There's a lot.
you know, and we sealed the deal the last time we were there that we're going to be in the Darwin Bakong area. So
Okay.
least we know where we're going to be, and that's a story I probably should tell your viewers.
Mhm.
I wasn't going to come to Darwin and Bakong or Valencia or Dumaguete after all the drama. In fact, I messaged Monty and I said, "Man, I don't want to go there. That's too much drama." And Monty said, "Oh, that's don't even listen to them. That's all for YouTube,
No
you know."
drama here. Yeah.
Yeah. So we came. So we're in Tagbilaran. We're on the ferry, and I post that we're coming to Dumaguete, and well, your wife now comments, "Oh, we're in Tagbilaran," and okay, yeah, I knew that already because I had follow her on Facebook. And then she said, "Where are you now?" And I thought that's kind of strange. We're making a U-turn in the harbor, heading for Dumaguete. And well, you know, a minute later, here's big old Mike with a big smile and a warm handshake, and we started chatting, and that was our first dealing with anyone from the Dumaguete area. I mean, Mike and I have chatted before, and we're friends, but and then we get to Dumaguete, and it was
This way.
Hey Roy, hey.
Welcome to Dumaguete.
Welcome to
kiddo.
Dumaguete.
Give me that damn hug, little girl.
Hey, you're so tall man.
Oh, thank you for making this man so happy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my luggage, or I'll be in the doghouse.
Okay.
Gosh, all the wonderful people. I mean, we went to your house, had coffee and cake. We spent a lot of time with Monty and Arigel from Crew Family Philippines, and you know, Jim Reister and Shine invited us over for cookouts, and oh my God! And then the highlight of the trip, Mike messages me and says, "Come on out to Sierra on Thursday at noon." Oh, okay. Well, we get out there, and all the people that I know and that we had met on our trip were all there in one spot. So we spent a wonderful afternoon, and then the next day we leave. Well, we get to Dumaguete. There's no ferry tickets because they had canceled so many trips. So we got to stay. So I post, "Oh darn, we have to stay one more day in Dumaguete." Instantly, I get a response from Jim Reister and Shine. "We'll come down for the afternoon." I said, "Well, great. There's a beer garden right next door." So we went over there and definitely stayed too long. And then we went out with some other friends from Dumaguete that we rented the car from. And we all went out to North Point, had a great night. The next morning, I wake up, I got a headache, and I look at my phone without my glasses on, and there's a text. "I'm on my way down to take you to breakfast." It was Monty. Monty doesn't get up at 6:30 in the morning to go to breakfast anymore. But that was how special it was. And so we got to say our goodbyes with Monty, and that was really tough. I really care for Monty, and I worry about his physical condition. And it was like, so we leave, and we get to Leyte, and we look at land there, and we found some land, even though the deal fell south. During this time, my wife is going, "Honey, honey, I know you want to be in Darwin. I said, honey, you should be by your friends and your family, and all of your family and friends are there. Honey, I like Darwin too.
There you go. That's the important thing. We both like it.
Yes.
That's the great part of it.
And Jim Reister, by the way, every day was sending me messages going, you know, you love Darwin. You should buy in Darwin. So, you know, it's nice to, and don't get me wrong, I'm a realist. You know, I'm going to be 65 in 2 weeks, and you're going to be 70, or you are 70 now.
Going to be 70.
Yeah, I don't know when any of us are leaving.
That's
But
right.
we're leaving on the elevated flight, you know, hopefully in that direction. And so in 5 years from now, that area may greatly change with some of the friends that I already know, or maybe that day won't come. I don't know, you know,
Right.
but you got to work for
No one
that.
knows what.
Yeah.
No one knows the future. No one knows the future.
No. But you got to have a plan, you know.
You got to have the 5-year
Yeah.
plan is a good plan because of the age of your son.
I watched it, you know, like with Jerry and Nelma, you know, they had a really good, solid plan until Jerry had a stroke.
Yeah.
And even their plan was so solid that even through the stroke, they managed to maintain. And in fact, I just watched one of their videos, and they have more than enough money to survive until he can pull his 401k, you know, and that's great because, you know, we all lived the John Harper saga. You know, and you don't want to get in that position. Nobody wants to be in that position.
You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, the 500. I can live on 500 US a month or 800. Why would you want to?
Yeah.
Why would you want to?
I've
After all
actually,
your years of working.
yeah, I've actually had this conversation with my wife. I said, you know, honey, let's break this down to what a lot of YouTubers say. And I'm not talking about the YouTubers that are my friends and that are in the Dumaguete area, because all of you are honest and you tell it the way it is. There are some that really, really blow smoke. And like I said to my wife, I said, okay, let's do the math. You know, I can go to the Philippines, I can rent a 1-bedroom apartment. Well, first of all, I can't compare that to the home that I live in here. You know, so these guys they're oh well, I'm living happily in the Philippines on $800 a month. Well, I don't want to live that way. I don't want to live in a 1-bedroom apartment and have to take tricycles somewhere and eat Filipino food. You know, so if I lived in a home comparative to the home that I have here, I'm going to pay $600 or $800 US or more a month. You know, and then you start adding it up. Okay, if I wanted to eat all the American food that I eat here in the Philippines, that's going to cost us another $500 or $600 a month.
Yeah.
If I kept all the lights on like we do in the United States compared to the Philippines, my electric bill would be $300 a month. I have heat, Mike. It's fall here. I'll tell you what temperature it is out right now. Well, it's 61 degrees right now, Mike.
Celsius, right?
No, not Celsius. And then Tuesday, it's going to be a high of 58. We were 93 degrees a week ago.
Was strange. So when you come over here, then you have no plans on how you're going to live. Well, you know how you're going to live quality wise, but you don't know if you're going to buy or build or.
That's another video in itself. Actually, I have one with another YouTuber. We're making a video buying a property over there and or homes. It's like walking through a minefield. You're aware of that.
Yes, it is.
So we had decided, because we had looked at property in Darwin, and every property had something attached to it that wasn't good. And tax declaration, or, you know, no. So we feel that if we're going to buy anything in the Philippines, we are going to be there. You know,
yes.
I mean, you look at Greg and Wilma, they did it right. You know, they were there, they did their research, and now they live in a beautiful home up on the mountain. And, you know, you watch the individuals that have done it right on YouTube, by the way. I followed lots, and there were a few that didn't do it right, and they're still living a nightmare. Yes. And I said to Christine, I said, no, honey, if we're going to buy anything in the Philippines, we're going to be renting and looking and using an attorney for our every move, you know. I'd love to build my wife a place in the Philippines. It's always hers because more than likely I'm going to leave before her. But like I had said to my wife, I said, what if we rent over there and I leave you a place here? What's the difference? On November, she's got the conditional green card. She's applying to drop her conditions. And then, you know, it'll take roughly another 2 or 3 years and she'll be a citizen. And, you know, so what's the difference? As long as I want to take care of her above and beyond, just like you want to take care of Janet. And at 62, she can draw my Social Security.
Yes.
And if I died prematurely, of course, and my son was in school, he would get Social Security from me. You know, so it's kind of a win-win at that. You know what I mean?
It is.
And that's why we did this. You know, I'd rather be in the Philippines retired like you right now. And I could pull my Social Security and just do that, but I couldn't with Ish. But I wanted Ish to become a dual citizen. I didn't want him to ever have to be a foreign overseas worker unless it maybe came with his education and by choice. But there's so many Filipinos that don't have a choice. Even if they have a good education in the Philippines, they have to go overseas to find a job. You know, so I wanted him to have all the benefits that we take for granted in this country.
So let me ask you, you're going to start a YouTube channel, or you have started your YouTube channel.
It's small.
So let's talk about it. Everybody starts sometime. You know, better too late than
I
never.
watched you.
I've been doing it 1 year, hit 20,000 subscribers, and don't ask me why anybody watches me. I have no idea. It's all Janet. It has to be all Janet.
I honestly see, for me, it's probably a different perspective because I like everybody. So I watch you because I had said to Monty, I said, yeah, I watched this Mike, your buddy Mike there. He seems like a pretty decent fella. And it was like, okay, so now I watch Mike, you know, and
Now
it's
you
like,
watch my-
yeah, so
Thank
now
you.
I got to watch. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of like Seinfeld sometimes. You're just, it's not about anything, but you're watching anyway. You know,
like Steinfeld, but you don't like George.
No, I don't like George. I like Kramer.
You like Kramer. I love Kramer, the crazy guy.
Oh, me too.
What was your favorite thing when you visited the Philippines in Dumaguete? Not the overall, but since my audience is interested in Dumaguete.
I think my favorite thing about the area was the friendliness of the people. You know, it wasn't the food. I mean, not that the food wasn't good. It wasn't the infrastructure, but it was how friendly everyone was. I mean, even complete strangers. I mean, I met complete strangers at the red table and at spicy food and wherever we went, and everyone was wonderful. There's a different feel in the Dawan, Bacong, Valencia, Dumaguete area than there is in Cebu City.
Oh, tons. Totally different. Totally different.
I can walk through say Ayala Mall, and if I run and say to 10 expats, I'm probably lucky to get a nod or a good morning or afternoon from one or two of them.
Not it's where they insult you, but they just they don't want to look you in the eye.
You know,
they walk by.
I drove truck most of my life, so I've been in probably every major city in this country. And it's like they're very cityized. It's like when you're in New York City, when you're downtown, you don't ever make eye contact with somebody because you don't want to open that door. You want to remain anonymous. Yeah. And you know, it's funny because in Cebu, you have that same feel that nobody wants to make eye contact to remain anonymous. And then you get to Dumaguete, and it's like you almost got these people. I think they have to actually sit on their hands so they don't wave at strangers. Everybody is so friendly, you know, and it's like,
when I first came here, they were lonely. they were so lonely they needed someone to talk to,
Yeah.
but it was
And it's like, I can't, it was just such a different feel. And when we were in Ormoc Leyte, I ran into an expat there at the Sabine, the resort, and he was very nice. He had never been to the Philippines. And this guy had a great story. I wish I could have got him on camera. He was married to a Filipina for 26 years in the United States, met her in the United States. And this is the first time that he came back to the Philippines with his wife. She never wanted him to come to the Philippines because she didn't want him to see how she lived. They're so poor.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
a great, really nice guy. And the time before we were there, I met a couple expats that were, very different from Dumaguete. My wife, she's from Cebu City. So she's used to that hustle bustle, and I think she knows every single store in Alaya Mall and Seaside Mall, everywhere, every store. I mean, it's like she knows every business everywhere. I didn't even know how she knows all this stuff. And it's like,
Yeah, they just did.
so she's kind of like my tour guide. Anything we need, we just go there, go here, go there. I rented a hotel when we stayed in Cebu online before we went. And then she didn't pay any attention. Then she looked at it. She goes, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" That's near Mango Street. Okay.
Good.
I like mangoes. She goes,
No,
"That's
it's
not
straight.
a nice area." And there again, I found it to be one of the nicest areas in the Philippines. Every morning I'd go out for coffee at 4:30 on the patio, and girls would come up and they want to give you a back rub, and they're very friendly.
You liked it there. You want to live on Mango Street.
Oh, no, but it was like, so Cebu City, it's got its positives, absolutely. I mean, I know why
Good and
you want to
bad
have a
points every
condo there. Yeah. But I've run all over Cebu City at all times of the night. I mean, I've never felt unsafe ever, ever. And I've stayed there many times. And I've stayed in a couple hotels that you probably might not stay at. They were
No,
like under $15 hotels once.
we
But
see the
the
signs for a
people
lot
were,
of these places.
yeah, and actually that particular hotel was full of retired expats that had very little Social Security, but they were all very friendly.
Yeah.
So that made up for the poor accommodations. But and Dumaguete is just that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like downtown Dumaguete traffic.
Okay, I don't think it's that bad, but yeah, rush hour. We all have our opinions of it.
It's really that bad when you get there and you don't know where the streets are, and all of a sudden it's a
That's
one-way street. You're going the
street.
wrong way on the street you shouldn't be on, and it's like, oh my God.
I got a ticket going the wrong way on a one-way. That's a story for another day.
There you go.
But yeah, but it's the same thing in Cebu when I drove there. I got all the way to where I wanted to be. I could see in the distance where I wanted, but I didn't know what roads to go down. I got lost. And just like any new city, if you get lost, it's frustrating. It's a pain in the
Oh
butt
yes.
and you hate it. And then once you know where everything is and which way the
Yes.
traffic's going, and the traffic really lightens up once you leave Dumaguete,
Oh,
the Bacan area and down.
yeah, you get, I mean, you just get past sideways and the traffic is already way better.
Way better, yes.
Yeah, because I mean, when we would go down to pick up Robert, the traffic by Robert's place by Navarro is horrible.
Terrible.
But then, you just get that, what, 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile, I don't know, and the traffic is,
Just get past the mall. Yeah, just get past the mall and it's
yeah,
good.
it's wide open. And like I said to my wife, I said, this probably wouldn't be so bad because if we lived here, I'd know every side road and shortcut. There's got to be, yeah, there's got to be.
Sure.
It's like the diversion road that you live on, way shorter, and it's a nice road.
They cemented over a couple of the areas that were just dirt, and they're slowly getting that all done. We were on that today. Got caught in a big rainstorm on that road. Just
Oh
put the
boy.
rain suit on. I had PJ, Janet's son on the back, and we're going. And Mary and Janet are on the other bike, and Mary's got the umbrella, her short skirt, and the umbrella. And I mean, it's raining where you can't see in front of you.
Oh,
It's fine. Welcome to the Philippines. Did you have any issues with credit cards or debit cards that you brought from the States? Did you use them or just cash?
yes, I did. No, I pre-book all of my hotels from the States. I plan the trip out, but of course I have to use. Some places only take a credit card when you're there. Some places only take cash. You know how it is. But I had no issues. I always call my credit card company ahead of time and let them know that I'm going to be there before I leave. And I literally have no issues. Now, I had I can't remember where we were. I think we were back in Cebu. My credit card failed. It just failed to work, or my credit card. And so I used my debit card. And I don't know to this day why my credit card failed. And of course, when I get back from the Philippines for the first few months, I watch every charge on my account because I've used my card in the past in the Philippines and I had unauthorized charges. That happens. And that's just
Keep
something to be
watching your
aware.
bill.
Oh,
Keep watching
absolutely.
the bill for
Hmm.
months afterwards.
Yes, yes. Because you don't know. I bring cash along because, as you know, there are places that there's no such thing as credit cards.
No, it's a
So you better
cash
be prepared.
society that's slowly changing over. The more bigger places, the bigger they are, the more likelihood they'll take your
Hmm.
debit or credit card. But you go to these small little restaurants, mom and pop stores, cash please.
Look at the 1,000 pesos. If you go to a restaurant and you have a 1,000 peso bill, a lot of restaurants can't cash it. You hop in
Can't
a cab
change.
in Cebu City, they'll tell you they can't cash it because they want more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the
So
thing is they have a lot of small bills. You have to have the 100 peso, the 50 peso, some coin, because even if they have the change, sometimes they're going to say they don't.
yep,
But I understand the smaller stores, if they run out of
yeah,
change, what can they do now? They have to run to the bank and it takes a
yep.
long time to go to the bank and get change. So they're always asking you, do you have a peso? You have 5 pesos, you have a 20 coin. So yeah, keep a variety of coins and bills, the 20 and the 100, 200.
My wife was the one that kept me doing that because I don't pay much attention, and she would say, "Honey, get smaller change, get smaller always."
Whenever we go into a bigger place, like into the mall or something, then I'll pay with 1,000 just to get smaller bills
Hmm.
changed.
Yeah,
Because you don't want to be down that all you have is 1,000 peso bills. You're limited where you can go. And
absolutely.
don't take a taxi on that. You can't take a trike on that. So what was driving in a cab like?
Cab driver picked us up and he took off. Now that have you ever been on the main drag in Lapu-Lapu that goes north and south?
I've never
It's a very
been over
small
the
road.
bridge.
It's very small. Okay. There are squatter huts built right to the edge of the road. Okay. So it's a very small road. He was doing 120 kilometers an hour
Wow,
to the
that's
point that my
scary.
wife
That's
slugged the back of his headrest. She was so mad. This guy drove like
so
a
dangerous.
complete jerk. And then we told the hotel, and then they called the cab company and said we no longer want him. I mean, he was driving
Well,
like a maniac. And I put the GoPro up just so people could see this. I mean, it was like, I mean, I'm on a meter. What do you
yeah,
care? Didn't make
he's
any
hurting
sense.
himself a little bit. No, it did. I know when we stayed at the Quest and also at the condo we're at, when we get in a cab, the doorman comes out, he asks us our room number, and he writes down the cab number.
For
And
your safety.
they told me, if you have any problems with that cab when you get back, you tell us. and then they won't allow them to, pick anybody up at their location. So I haven't had
Right.
any cab problems in Cebu City,
No,
close to ALMA.
no, we've never had any cab problems anywhere in Cebu City. Um, we never had any tricycle problems in Ormoc because there are no cabs, so to speak. But I've never had that issue. Now, I mean, even in Tagbilaran, when you rent they've all been very good. In Lapu-Lapu, what they did is they would show up at your hotel and they would have the meter covered up. So I'd say, can you uncover your meter? And there's already 20 or 40 pesos on it. Because they didn't like coming all the way to the north end of Lapu-Lapu to get us. We're at the very north end. And then we had one guy actually tell us, we can take this way and it's way better. He took us way around. And so to get downtown, it cost us 900 pesos because he took us the wayward route.
I know when we took the cabs the first time, Janet had the map on her phone and she could follow where we're at, that we're going the right direction. We're not being taken around in a big circle, but
It's a good
I
idea.
didn't have any cab fares over 200 pesos. I think most were right around that 100 peso mark. And
I had an individual yesterday ask me at the wedding, are you planning on going back to the Philippines? And I said, yeah, eventually. And what about Taiwan? And I said, well, I guess time will tell what goes on over there.
where are you going to hide when that happens? Philippines, US, I don't think there's anywhere to hide if that ever
Nowhere to
happens.
hide, but I think I would feel safer here at that point.
Yes.
Of course I would. And the reason I do
Well,
is because I'm a World War II buff. And I know how terrible the Philippines was during the Japanese occupation.
Mhm.
The Japanese were horrible. Now, I'm not saying the Chinese would be the same, but all's fair in love and war.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be that type of war. That's me personally. I think it's going to be over so fast. I really don't think they're ever gonna. It's just a muscle flexing exercise that we do during the Cold War with Russia.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's my hopefulness that I hope cooler heads prevail. And it all
Well, I
comes
guess
down to money and
if we could
economy.
perceive the future accurately, we both be very rich men from the stock market.
If I go back just 1 week, I'd be rich.
Every money I've ever invested in the stock market has went to poop somewhere. So it's like, boy, don't ever ask me for investment advice. I'll tell you that.
Don't ask me. I got out of the market and it went up and it was doing good. I had some extra money just like a month and a half ago. I said, I'll go buy some Tesla and do this. Next thing I know, it's one of these the market correction they called it. And the minute
Yeah.
I pulled my money out for the loss, it went up again. So, they're just looking for my $2,000 or $3,000.
Well, I was scammed just like you were because I got a big heart, and a couple, one girl took me for $50, whoop-de-doo. Another one took me for 100, and then she wanted another 100, and her story didn't add up, so I didn't give it to her, and she disappeared. And the third one took me for 100, but she wasn't a scammer, actually. She was actually legitimate. She needed to get this job, and she had to have a physical and all that stuff. And
yeah, you got to do all that.
I communicated with her on Facebook. She was happy with her job. She never asked me for another dime. When I met Christine, I told her that I'd met another girl I was interested in, and she said, "I'm happy for you, although I would have really liked to got to know you." And so I mean, you know what I mean. It just happens, and they're not. If I listened to this expat page on Facebook, I would never even come to the Philippines.
Everybody talks to a girl online. Everybody says, don't communicate to Filipino online until you get here. Why? You want to know what they're like. You're lonely, and that's what's drawing you to the Philippines.
When I'm there in the Philippines, where am I going to meet a girl in the Philippines? First off, if I'm there. I mean, like say Dumaguete is different because of course you got friends there, so you go to friends with parties and they know people and all of that. I get that. But if you went to Cebu, you land in Cebu City, you get a room at the Quest and you go down to the ALMA Mall. What are you gonna do? Walk up to every girl? Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
It's just like online. You don't know what's there. You don't know what it is. At
And
least
online,
online, you get to meet them.
oh yeah. When I did that thing online, in fact, I had just told my cousin this yesterday because his girlfriend asked me, because my cousin's been single for a while and he met this girl through another couple and now they've been together a year. They're very happy. And I said, I met her online. Really? Yeah. I said, I put my profile in there. I said, a few hours later, I looked, I had 127 emails.
It's all 127.
Yeah. I was pretty specific and I was honest. I didn't get 300 emails, but 127 was too many.
How many videos have you put out so far?
7, I
Because
think.
it's brand new. And anyone that you're particularly proud of yet, or is this all experimental at this point?
It's still experimental. I did one when good plans go bad. That was early on, and because we started this channel like I think in June and didn't really do much. We didn't do. I work a lot, so it's not like we
You're
got
a busy
all
man.
kinds of.
Yeah.
But that actually did okay. I mean, I got 6,500 views on it. It was like our second video that we put out.
That's a
Now,
good number.
yeah, my wife is starting to. She actually has the editing. Real man, she's great. She's really figured it out. She does the editing, and she just edited the second half of our vacation video. And I'm telling you, it may not be a video for everybody because it's our vacation video. It's personal. But my God, she did a great job with the music and putting all these little videos that we had made together. And we had never made a travel video before. So, it's not like sitting down in front of the camera like you and I will do and talk.
Travel videos are hard. They're
And
very
if
hard.
I said to my wife when we were in the Philippines, I said, if we were going to make a travel video, we wouldn't be enjoying ourselves because we would be planning our next step. With
That's all
shots from
you're doing
different
is
angles and drone footage and it's like, no, we don't want to do that. You know, I just want people to, I just want people to be aware of our situation. She came here and we have a life now. And, everyone's, there's a lot of people, I shouldn't say everyone, but there's a lot of people that, they want to know about the Philippines and they want to know what it's like to live in the Philippines and find a Filipina as your mate. And it's like, well, this is kind of the other side. I found my Filipina, but I brought her home. And, we have a different life here, possibly a different perspective on lots of different cultural issues. And, that kind of pertains to our channel.
well, as time goes by, like when Rick and Ned first started their channels, that was 6, 8 years ago. Things have changed. So I came over last year. So I'm giving people a perspective of me now, 2022, 2023, in the beginning stages. And now
Mhm.
you're going to be doing from the US, but then 5 years from now, it's going to be the beginning stages. And that's a whole new
Yeah.
audience. And everything's different. Things change year to year. In 5 years, like you said,
Everywhere.
who's going to be left
Yeah.
here? Yeah.
Yeah. Everywhere. And it's like, with the way the world is, who even knows what's going to happen in 5 years?
Right, that's right. But having something new, because new
Hmm.
people are getting interested in living somewhere else. And as it gets expensive to live back in the States, even if you have money and you have a home, go live somewhere else and enjoy like a king if you can. Or, your money goes a long way here. The
Hmm.
dollar's so strong compared to, the Aussie dollar or the Canadian dollar here.
Yeah.
You know, our buying power keeps getting stronger and stronger. So enjoy what you've reaped. You've worked so hard your whole life. Come here and enjoy it. If you've met all your family obligations, you raised your children, and then go ahead. Don't run
Yeah,
away from everything and hide here.
right.
But you can come here and have a good
Amen.
retirement life.
I've known many men that have also ran there to hide, and
Yeah.
we come to enjoy, and that's a place where I can literally. I took my wife's family out. It's called the Highlands. It's north of Ormoc City in the mountain. It's beautiful there, and I think there was 13 or 14 of them. We all ate wonderfully well, and the whole bill was like 5,000 pesos.
$100.
Yeah,
Not
and it's
even.
like if I and Christine and Ish, if we go to say Texas Roadhouse, it's $100.
Just for the three of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're not drinking cocktails and all that. That's just
No,
the
no, no.
meal and yeah.
Yeah. If we go out just a local bar outside of town here for fish on a Friday night, that's $50 to $60. So, the
The
cost of
day and
living here
age
is,
of the That's high. The
yeah,
day and age of the $5 all you can eat Friday night fish fry is
gone.
long gone.
Well, and that's, I think that's part of us as we age, because we've seen all of that. So when you start getting to be our age, everything is overpriced. Everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I remember when gas was 24 cents a gallon. I remember when a new car was $3,000. We bought our first 3-bedroom home on 3 acres with an attached 2.5 car garage for $51,000. You know,
my first house was 31. So
yeah.
with a
And so
$178 a month mortgage.
and we walk around now, we got sticker shock because I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I can remember what I did 40 years ago,
Years ago. Yeah.
kind of thing. So it's like, I'm not paying that. Oh, I'm not paying that. It's like I was thinking about getting my wife a new washer and dryer. Not that ours are just old, but they work. On sale, they're like over $1,000.
They're expensive here. I went to look at a washer dryer that we got in the condo in Cebu, and it is 67,000 pesos it's a washer and dryer combined. Well, that's well over 1,000. It's 12, thirteen
Yeah,
hundred dollars.
it's
Things are
scary.
expensive everywhere.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, our electronics are cheaper here. Um, our TVs and all that stuff are cheaper here. But there are just some things that are just so horribly expensive. And I'm still living in the past. My son tells me that all the time. Dad, you're just living in the past.
That's right. We are. We look at what things used to cost. The baseball ticket and a hot dog for under $10. Now it's $100 to go to. Well, I can't imagine what it costs to go to a Packer game, family of three, if you're not a season ticket holder. It's
Um,
an outrageous number.
Probably 3 to 900, anywhere in between.
Yeah. Is there any last words you want to share with people who are coming over here for a vacation? What they should expect, or something you didn't prepare for?
Do your homework. Don't be afraid to ask any of the vloggers that you follow, like Mike and Old Dog, Monty, any of these guys, Mark Thornton. Don't be afraid to ask any of these guys if you have a question about the area, because if they have the time, they'll definitely help and they won't stray you. And so do your due diligence. Just don't come in blind. There's lots of things to see in that area, although we didn't go there uh, as tourists. uh, we went there to visit friends and check out the area. And well, we thought that buying land would be a little bit easier than it was, but I've been communicating with people there for many years already, so I've never went there blindly. And I'm sure there's a host of you there that'll help. I mean, if
Yeah.
these guys will wave at a stranger and offer them a cup of coffee, they'll help you if you send them an email.
You send them an email. We reply to most of our emails, and that's all of us, Monty and Paul and Mark. Now, well, Roy, thanks for joining the channel today. Hey guys, check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's get him some views, some likes, some subscribers. It's Married to a Filipina. And thanks for joining us, Roy.
Mike, thank you. And there again, thank you and Janet for all the hospitality when we were in the Dumaguete area.